Good evening, friends, and welcome. Hello, it's Big Deno, and we're back for another evening of board games. I don't actually know if there's many people doing this kind of regular. Maybe there is, but yeah, I'm streaming board games 3, 4, 5 nights a week some weeks, and it's great. I'm having the best time. I'm playing so many cool games, and it's just awesome. So tonight we're going to play a game called Lisboa. Now, I very nearly did a Big Deno Learns video on this. So the Big Deno Learns series is my only attempt at supporting the members of the channel. I will do some other stuff for them at some point, I'm sure. And it's just me fumbling and stumbling my way through a game. Well, I learnt this afternoon, and it wasn't really a good opportunity for me to film the whole thing. So I just sort of muddled my way through, and I just decided I'm going to play it tonight. So this will be somewhere between a learning game and an actual game. But yeah, as I played it today, I started to get a bit excited because I started to see how all of the things connected. And just like the other Lacerda games, once you figure out, okay, what am I trying to achieve? Do this, do this, do this. And that's what I finally got my head around. Although I don't know how it's gonna, because I've never finished a game of this. G'day, Michael. So yeah, so if you've never heard of Lisboa, this is a game by Eagle Griffin Games and Vital Lacerda, artwork by Ian O'Toole, The Great Combination. I have 5 of their games in my collection. Inventions, On Mars, Speak Easy, Weather Machine, and Lisboa, soon to add the Great Library to that collection. So they're very much games that are difficult to understand and to teach, but I feel like there's this wonderful synergy and this wonderful moment when it all starts to come together and you just realise, wow, this is incredible. And I played Inventions with my group last week, a 4-player game of Inventions. And at the start of the game, after I'd finished teaching, I think everyone was about ready to pack up and go, like they felt exhausted already. And then halfway through, things started to click and everyone just started to really get on. I mean, I was in love with it, but everyone else started to see that maybe there was something quite special there, but I think you would need to play it 4 or 5 times to be able to see that. Now this one, I don't know, I feel like this is less difficult to understand than Inventions, but, and that's because the actions all make sense, but I've had a real bear of a time learning how to play this. I've looked at the rulebook 50 times and it's just made absolutely no sense. So I finally think I've got my head around it now. So let's stop talking. I have actually been to Lisbon, by the way, the city with which this is based on in Portugal. It's the capital of Portugal. It's a lovely place, absolutely beautiful. I've walked down these streets, and yeah, the city is designed in a very structured way, which, having read the backstory of this game, actually makes a lot more sense now. So anyway, this is the board, and I am going to explain a little bit about what's happening on the board, I promise. And then this is our player area, and once again, we have an app to run the solo bot. I don't think you would need an app for this solo bot at all. It's very simple, but this will just actually do everything for us. So we're going to do our, no, I don't need the setup instructions. There we go. Yeah, it is cool, isn't it? I actually spent five days there. Went out to, you can catch a train and you can go out to this really cool tower that's about 40 minutes out of Lisbon. I went to Sintra Castle, which is up in the hills of Portugal overlooking Lisbon. And yeah, just spent a few days in the actual city, looked at the castle. The castle overlooking Lisbon is absolutely magic. I'll see if I've got a photo actually, because it was a really incredible trip. That's another time. I'll do that another time. Anyway, I've got video footage of me being in Lisbon and walking around. It's a beautiful place. It was actually my favourite city that we visited on that trip. Okay, so this is my player area, and this is where all of the magic will happen. The first thing that you will notice is there's a lot of weird colors happening, and the color palette in this game is quite odd. But that's because this is mirroring the colors that were used. And if you go, I really should find photos of Sintra Castle. This is what Sintra Castle looks like inside the castle. These beautiful white and blue tiles and patterns, and the colors that you see here, it's a really clever color palette, but it's very confusing for a game to see this, because, you know, iconographically it's all very muted and it's not quite super clear what you're doing. But yeah, so the board's kind of divided into, let's call it 3 areas. This is the first area here, and this is the nobles area. So there's 3 nobles that we can visit. This one's the king, this one's like a builder, and this guy's like a magistrate. And all 3 of these are nobles that we'll trade with during the game, and they will allow us to take actions. So each of the nobles is affiliated with specific actions that are down here. The 3 actions, the main actions, are associated with the nobles, and they can only be taken when you go to the nobles. But these minor actions can also be taken on other turns, which we'll get into no doubt as the game progresses. But to visit the nobles, you need to have influence, and that's what this track refers to. So this is your influence. Visiting the nobles will cost you influence, and you'll take actions that will gain you influence with the nobles as well. So this area here is just all about the nobles. So these cards are cards that we'll come back to, but they're what we use to play into the nobles' court, and also to play actions onto our board. So the second main area is this area here, and this is Lisbon City, or Lisboa, which is how the Portuguese call it. And this represents, the city was actually like quite badly damaged, and they rebuilt it. It was hit by a flood, it was hit by a fire, and it was hit by an earthquake. These cubes that you see around the outside, these represent the damage that was inflicted by those 3 catastrophes. The white cubes, or beige cubes, are earthquakes, red is the fire, and blue is the water from the flood. And so what we're going to do throughout the game is remove the rubble from these spaces, and then build little shops on these main areas here. So the shops will actually face different streets depending on which way we build them, and those will be an avenue for us scoring a lot of victory points, dependent on how many public buildings there are. So public buildings go around the outside, shops go in the middle. To build a public building is a little bit trickier than to build a shop, because we need to have plans from an architect, and we need to actually get approval to build a public building from these champions over here. So it's very, very, very interesting how all of these things interlock. We need to remove these cubes, and doing so actually gets us a reward, because we're clearing the rubble from the city, which is a good thing. And that rubble was actually reused in building projects throughout the rebuilding of the city, which is again part of the history and the lore of the game. So there's some other parts, and this is sort of the third part to the board, which is these here. So these are kind of related to the economy of the game. And this is a section that shows you how much goods are worth. So they're going to start, there's 4 types of goods. There's these teal ones, which are tools, these brown ones, which are books, the purple, which is like cloth, and then the yellow one, which is gold. So at the start of the game, this is how much each of these goods will earn you if you sell them, but that will decrease as time goes on. We actually sell those goods to merchant ships that will travel across the seas and deliver those goods to other people. That is a way for us to accrue both money and victory points depending on who has built the ships. This board here, this is the treasury, and this represents a few things. It represents how wealthy the city is, and also how easy it is to visit the nobles in terms of an influence cost. The more wealth the city has, the nobles have, more time to see you, and they're friendly guys. But if the city is poor, then the nobles will make excuses and not spend time with you. It starts in the middle though. Excellent. And then finally we have this track here, which is called the clergy track. So obviously religion, big part of the Middle Ages and this period of time. And so this represents the cardinal, and he'll actually travel around this space. And every time he hits this space, the treasury track's going to go up, because this represents the church donating back to the city. And then every time he reaches this space, everyone has the opportunity to do some influence stuff, which I have not actually done yet because I never got there, but we'll no doubt see that in the game, and I'll have to look that up. Tremendous. So that's kind of everything that's happening on the board. Let's go to my individual player board now, and I'll just explain the premise of a turn. And it is actually laid out on your board here, which is pretty cool. So on your turn, you have two paths you can follow. The first is you can play a card, and you're going to always have to play a card to take an action. So you play a card either to your board, your tableau, and that is either on the top of your board or the bottom of your board. And you do have a limit to the number of cards you're allowed to play, which at the start of the game is 2. If you play them to the top of the board, then they'll generally generate you influence, and that's a good thing. If you play them to the bottom of the board, they will generally provide you with a positive ongoing benefit. So, for example, this guy is going to gain us 1 influence when we trigger a gaining influence action. And this card is going to provide us a discount on clearing rubble. That discount would be $1. It's called reais, but I'm just going to probably call it dollars or cash money. Every time you clear a red cube. Or every time you have to pay for a red cube, I should say. Because there's times when you have to pay for it. So that's what these two symbols here refer to. Play a card up the top for the influence, which is that symbol, or down the bottom for its ongoing building effect. That's step 1. Step 2 is you can then sell goods, which are these things here, which are the goods we talked about. But the only way you can do that is if there's boats. So someone needs to have a boat for you to sell goods. So that action's kind of offline at the start of the game. Or the second action is you can trade with the nobles. So let's go back over here now. And that's what these 6 actions here are. So you can spend resources, goods, to do those actions. I won't go into the actions in detail, but they're mostly straightforward. This one is place 2 officials in these city houses. Not a big thing. I've got to look at the gallerist actually, Mike, and welcome. But yeah, I really should look at the gallerist. This one here is obtain a blueprint. I'll come back to blueprints, but they're needed for public buildings. This one here is build a ship. You can only build this ship, or when that one's been built, you can build a second ship underneath it. This one is produce goods. So your shops need to have, will produce goods, and the colour of the street will actually determine what goods they produce. Very interesting. Then, this one here is move the cardinal around the cardinal track and take a, I can't remember what they're called, theocracy tiles or clergy tiles. There you go, clergy tiles, excellent. And finally, this action is to take an influence from a noble. So, going back to here, that is our first tree that we can do. We basically play a card into our tableau, and then we can sell goods or do some of those actions. All about spending goods. The second option is we can actually play a card, like this one, to the noble's court up here. You place your little guy on it. Let's just do this as an example. And you go, this is the action that I would like to take. It's this blue friend. And here's Mr. Blue Friend, and we can see that Mr. Blue Friend has this main action, and then these 2 actions as well. Now, when you visit Mr. Blue Friend, you actually get to take the main action plus one of these for free. You don't have to pay goods to do that. You just get to do it. However, visiting one of the friends costs you influence. The cost in influence is always the number of opponents, chaps in there. So this orange guy, that's actually our opponents, a dummy opponent. And then as the game goes on, our digital opponent Lacerda will also place out guys. So right now, if we were visiting Mr. Blue Friend, it would cost us 1 influence because there's 1 friend in there. Enemy, I guess. However, that influence cost will be either decreased or increased depending on the treasury's position. Pretty straightforward. So the 3 main actions from visiting these colourful friends. This is build a shop, easy. This is take a decree, which is this board. And this is open a public building. So each of those is well, this one's not a complicated action, but the other 2 are a little more complicated. So I'll step through those in a second. But this one here is literally, have I got a zoom set up? Yeah, just take one of these. And these are just end game scoring. That's it, nothing else. So this one, at the end of the game, you will score points for every shop that is on the pink street. That's it. 1 point for every shop on the pink street. Easy. This one's the teal street. This one's a point for every flood cube you have. This one is a point for all of the buildings that are facing public buildings on the west, sorry. This one I have no idea, but we can look these up. So taking these will net you endgame points. Pretty simple. Building a shop. Building a shop is probably the hardest part of the game that I was struggling to learn. The first thing you do is you choose a colour of a shop to build. So you can build any of the 4 colours, and those colours basically represent the street that that shop is going to go on. Now, this is actually true that these streets were designated places to buy these things from. So that's actually accurate. But if, let's say, we wanted to build a gold shop. So the first thing we do is we choose a location that we want to build it. Let's say we decide to build it here. There is a benefit on the tile. We take that. And then we have to place this shop so that this little notched part, have I got a zoom set up for that? Sure do. This little notched part is facing the street. So here is a valid placement, as is here. They're both valid placements. So this is the shop front of the building. Although you would probably do it like that, I think. Excellent. So, the second thing we do is we actually clear a little bit of rubble. So you take a rubble tile, either from here or from here. Once you've removed the rubble, and once again, that's a positive thing. It goes over here on your board, and it's a good thing. You actually get reward for that. You then have to work out how much it's going to cost you to buy the land to build this building on. Get around this. The cost of the building is, the land costs you this number here. That's how much it starts at, $3 for example, when we start the game. Fantastic. The second thing you have to do is look at all of the remaining rubble cubes on here, and you have to spend money based on that. So these red ones, they're worth $2 each. This blue one is worth $1, and this beige one is worth $3. So if I was to build this here, and you do get to remove a cube, so let's assume we remove this beige cube, this would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 3 is $10 to build that shop. Get around it. Not cheap making shops over in the old Lisboa. But what do we get next? So then, then what we get is we get to place a building from our board over here onto that shop. Now these buildings will actually provide ongoing benefits. So again, if you're starting to see the combinations, just like all those other ones, linking together and making things better. So this one makes it easier to visit the nobles, it's cheaper on influence. This one makes building boats cheaper. This one lets you produce more goods when you produce goods in your shops. And you choose one of those and you have to place it on that shop. Let's say I've just put this one here. Bang. And finally, you score points. How good's that? Shops are absolutely worthless unless there's public buildings around them. So right now, this shop would be worth 3 times by the number of public buildings that are adjacent to it. So we can have a public building here, here, and here. So that has a maximum points of 9, but right now it's worth 3. Pretty simple. Very, very straightforward. That's building a shop. Now, the reason why there is multiple stacks over there is because in this game you can actually follow other players when they take these actions. And the way you do that is by spending these tiles. So these tiles are refer to your influence with the nobles, and they sit on your board here, for example. We're going to randomly allocate me one in a second. And if someone else, so Lacerda, visits this noble, I can cash this in and take that action. I only get to take one of the actions, so it's one of these 3 actions that I can take. But that means that other players can build after you build. And that's why these tiles are here. That player can't build a gold until the end after your turn's ended. So that's the only reason why it's done like that. Okay, so that's building. It's pretty easy. We've done decrees. Opening a public building. This is the next more complex action that, again, I really struggled with. So the first thing you need is a blueprint. Here's a blueprint for this public building. Blueprints come with starting ones. There's a starting blueprint. And they're either blue or green. Easy as that. We've got a blue and a green blueprint on our board right now. So to build a public building, the first thing you need is a blueprint that matches the colour of the building you want to build. If we go over here, is this one a zoom? Not quite, but yep. These are the 2 public buildings that are available to build right now. Maybe I'll do this instead. Hey. So we can build the Miradura de Roca or the Jardim Botânico de Ajuda. My Portuguese is very strong. And they are worth absolutely nothing at the moment. They don't do anything. They're literally just avenues for scoring points. Just like the other buildings. Well, so when you build a public building, you choose one of these spaces, or here, and you build it. Now building it here will net you precisely no cubes, but building it here, you will actually claim these cubes, which again is a positive thing. What does it cost to build it? It doesn't cost money. It costs little friends in the court. So based on the number of people on your blueprint tile, you have to return people from the court to your board to allow you to build the public building. Once you've built the public building, you flip the blueprint tile and that is it. And you then place it on the board. They score points in the reverse way of shops. So for every shop that is in the row or the column that you build it on, you score the points down the bottom. And then I'm not sure how many points you get across there. We'll check that out later on. But that's it. That's pretty much everything you need to know. So how does it all interlock? We're actually going to find out together because I don't know. Okay. So we're going to take one of these randomly, and this will be our starting influence. We get a purple, and then I think Lacerda gets a random one that isn't that colour. So I think this one, sure, he can be blue. There we go. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deal myself out 5 starting cards. These are cool cards. They have cool artwork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, I dig it. So let's have a look at my starting cards. So we've got none of the building cards, lots of noble cards. Okay, this influence is nice. That's one of these things. One influence. That's take more blueprints. Okay. That is what? I don't know what that symbol means. We'll check that out. Maybe it's, you don't have to, yep, don't know. But that's just a goods, that's just a goods. Let's take a blueprint, let's take one of these. I'll look that one up. There is as always, there's a little reference guide for all of Lacerda's. Spend 1 real. Okay, so that's a penalty. That costs us money to put him in. Yeah, okay, that sucks. But he's got a high influence cost. That's why, or influence gain. That's why he costs money. All right, the next thing we do is we get to draw 2 clergy tiles, and we start with 1. So we have clergy tile number 36 and clergy tile number 13. I get one of these to start the game as a asymmetric starting power. And again, these are all listed in your book, explaining them all. 36. You don't pay any goods to build or upgrade a ship. That is extremely good. I will struggle not to take that. 13. Whenever you play a Manuel de Maya card to the royal court, receive 2 reis. So Manuel is the green guy. So you can tell by his little green symbol there. So that's also very good. Yeah, I do think the ship one is the one I'll go for, but I think that one's quite good. But yeah, we'll take the ship one. Cool. All right. I think that means we're started and ready to go. Now, in a multiplayer game, you can actually draft cards. I would recommend drafting. I think it would make the game a little bit smoother. We have 10 reis, 10 cash money to start the game. Our clergy tile, 1 starting blueprint, a purple, 1 of each good, and 1 guy in the court. And that means, I think, that we are ready to go. So let's do start game. Okay, so Lacerda's courtier visits the king. So we're going to start him on the purple action. Hey, in parting, how are you? And I think then we'll find out where he goes. This is a cool game. Yeah, this is a pretty cool game. So the whole world is our oyster right now. So as an example, if I wanted to build a ship, I could, because it cost me no goods. Building ships is actually a very useful thing to do because it allows you to sell goods and that gets cash. Yeah, things are excellent, mate. Really, really having a good time at the moment with the games. I've played some wonderful games recently. So yeah, pretty jazzed. It's not, it's inexpensive to visit the court at the moment. There's a no influence penalty or buffer. So it might be time to go. So we know that he's going to go here, which means he's going to open a public building. So I could also open a public building following his action. So it might be worthwhile for me to try and build a shop right now. So is that what I want to do? So if I was to build a shop right now, I could go to here, and then I could also do this action, which would allow me to place out 2 guys in the court. And because I then have 3 guys in the court, I could flip this to build a public building following his action. So let's do that. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but we'll just try that. So I'm going to use this guy. So that's Mr. Green, the architect, and we place him up here. So the reason you do that is so if you play multiplayer, other players know that it's your turn. Great job. Well done. So then I have to spend influence to go there. The cost of going there is 1 influence because there's only 1 opponent, minus 0. So I spend 1 influence. And now I get to take 2 actions, one of which has to be this main action, and one is this one. So I'm going to do this action. I'm going to go here and here. You have to put your nobles in 2 different courts. That's the only rule for that. Other than that, it's open slather. There's no cost. Excellent. And then I will do this build action. So building, let's go over here and see if there is a spot that we can build that's going to be cheap enough. So this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, so that's too expensive, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, so I can go here in this spot. So that would be either a teal or a brown. There is actually a scoring thing for teal. Ah, thanks Imparting, I appreciate that, mate. You didn't have to do that. The only downside to this is that this row is only scoring 3 points. But that's better than nothing. That's better than nothing. So let's do that. So I'm going to play this teal building, and I'm going to play it to this location here. So that's going to get me a books, because I'm covering over a books. You can spend influences money, that's right, you can too. So there is my first building spot right there. And when I cover that over, I gain a building, brown, which is a books. So that goes on my board. Okay, so now the second thing I do is I take a cube. I'm going to take this brown cube and I'm going to remove it and place it over on my board. So these go in here, and you want to get complete sets of rubble. This is how you unlock more cards into your tableau and more goods that you can store in your warehouse. Cool, so now we calculate the land cost. Hopefully I've added it up correctly. It's 3, 4, 5, because the flood tiles are worth 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have to pay all 10 of my reais. That's actually a fun word to say. And now I can build a building. So I've got two choices here. I can go, this one's a bad choice for me, because this is pay 1 less good when you're building a ship. We're already doing it for free. So it's either this one, which will gain me extra goods when I produce, or this one, which has no immediate benefit, but the next time I build one of these, I can then spend money as influence, which does seem like a powerful ability. But I think we'll go the goods production. So I place my house on that tile, and then we get to score points. So there is only one public building here, so I'm going to score 3 times by 1. That's 3 points. Seems fine. 1, 2, 3. And now, I'm just going to check to make sure I've done everything right there. I think I have, but let's just double check, because there's a lot of shit going on in this game. Okay, build a building. Select an available city tile, yes. Select an empty land space that matches the business colour, yes. Gain the reward depicted, yes. Take 1 rubble cube, yes. Pay for the land, yes. Move a wooden house closer to the entrance. Earn wigs for building the store. Excellent, good work, Deno. That's great. Okay, so now that is actually the end of my action. So this card, my guy goes back to here, and this card gets discarded. Now, Lacerda would follow if he had a green tile, but he doesn't, so he's not going to follow. So he sucks. Okay, so now we'll go over here and we'll do Lacerda's turn. So Lacerda's courtier is going to visit the king. And he's going to take the state action. He's going to meet the cardinal. Okay, so his helper location is on the treasury deck. Excellent. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to move the cardinal 2 spaces. Boop, boop. And he's then going to take the tile in front of the cardinal, which is this one. He's going to discard it, and he's going to score 2 victory points, 1, 2. Then he's going to do the noble action, which is he has to go and open a public building. He's going to pay influence as normal. So for him to open a public building, there is 2 guys here, so he has to pay 2 influence, 1, 2. And then he will immediately open the public building that will gain him the most points. He has no buildings on the board. So, and if he places one in a column or row that I have, I score points. So he's not going to do that. So he's going to place the building on the empty construction space closest to the west end of row D, which is here. And he is going to place the green tile and he's just going to place it here. He gets these 2 rubble cubes, which is good for him, not so good for us. If the health bar, yep, done. When opening a public building, he ignores the reward. He does not move or hire any officials or use any plans. So that's it. That's all he does. It's a really cool bot. I like it a lot. I have to draw a card actually at the end of my turn. I'm going to take this one. I'll explain those in a second. And then he's going to discard the treasury deck. So that's it. And now Lacerda moves to the next spot. And that's it. Move his helper. Beautiful. Now I have the action to follow. So I can follow with a royal favour by spending this. As I said, we're going to do that. So I'm going to cash my purple in, and I can take one of the 3 actions. So I could do a clergy move. Speaking of, I need to replenish the clergy tile here, and I need to replenish this building tile here. So I could do the clergy. I could also do this action, which is gain one of these influence tiles. But, as we discussed, I want to open a public building. Now my guy... yes, okay. So this is the only public building that I can open right now. Let's grab it and I'll show you why. So this is the Jardin Botanica de Ajuda. And you'll see there it's got 2 colours down the bottom. It's got yellow and brown. Those are actually not relevant if you are playing it on the left side or the right side of the board. But if you're playing it on the top row, you must match the colour. As we've discussed, there's no cost to doing that, but this is a blue building. So you need to have a blue blueprint, which I do, and you need to discard this many workers from the Royal Council thing to be actually able to do it. I don't know if this is the good play or not, but I'm going to do it and I'll show you why. So you flip this, I return all 3 of my guys to my board, and then this is placed on a cube. So I'm going to go here, that's going to gain me a gold, and it's also going to gain me these 2 cubes. Now, I'll come back to why I want those 2 cubes specifically, but it scores me no points because there's nothing there. However, if I build a building in this position right now, then all of a sudden I'm still only going to score 3. But if we start getting things up the top, then potentially... yeah, no, that's the right one because I want the cubes. Potentially, yeah, perfect. Now to do that, to follow that action, I did have to spend an influence. There was 1 guy there. And that is all. So that was the end of Lacerda's turn, right? So it's now back to our turn. So there you go. Now, this is tempting me right now. I could gain some hash money from the thing. I don't have any free shippos. Ah, I want that guy. All right, I'm going to be able to take him, aren't I? Yeah, okay. All right, that's good. So this action, if I was to play it onto my board, that would be really, really powerful. Oh, I also got a gold, didn't I? From visiting or building that public building. So yeah, so if I was to place this in my board, come on down, get with it. Okay. The reason I did that, the whole reason I did that, when you get a complete set of rubble, you remove this tile, this cube, and now you actually have a +1 on your storage and on the number of cards you can have in your display. So it's a strong start, I think, to have that. So now I can have 3 cards in my display. If I was to play this one, I get to take the treasury money. When you build a public building, does the treasury money go up? Is that what happens? I forget, but maybe it does. No. Finally move the top, yep, done. Okay, so the treasury money only goes up when you build a ship, and it goes down. When does it go down? I forget when it goes down. It doesn't matter. It'll come to me. The treasury does go down sometimes, but I don't think it does from anything I've done so far. Anyway, if I was to do that, I would get $3 and the treasury would go down. Building a ship makes the treasury money go up. Making it go down would make it cheaper to build houses, which would be good. This would get me a discount. So this is a possibility. However, this one I think is the one that I would like to use. So I am going to play this into the top of my board. So the reason I'm doing this is it's going to gain me a thing, and I know exactly where our friend is going to go. He's going to go to the green guy. So if I play this, I get to take an influence from the court, and it could be an influence. I don't mean influence, I mean one of these little markers, the ones that allow you to follow. Just like in every single game, being able to take more actions is very good. They're called getting a royal favour. Yep. So I could take a green favour, which would allow me to follow these actions. And I do need to get more guys out on the board, plus I want to make it cost more influence for him. So if I was to go and get this green favour, that would be very, very good. So let's do that. We're going to play this guy to the top of my board. This is this tree, by the way. And that lets me take the green favour and place it here. That's what I get for playing him to my tableau. The next thing I do is I choose to either sell goods or trade with the nobles. I can't sell goods because there's no ships out in the shipyard yet. But I can trade with the nobles. They cost money or goods to take any of these actions. Now I think if I go to the treasury, or if I go here, I could get another treasury tile, clergy tile. I'm getting into this game, but geez, there's a lot to think about, which is great. You love a Lacerda. Okay, so 35. 35, immediately take up to 2 royal favour tiles you don't have. Okay, I can't get that one though. That's awesome. This blue one, which I could take if I moved one space, is 27. That's going to discount of 2 influence to visit or follow the marquee, which is him. That one there is number 4. G'day, Tom. You may spend money instead of influence. That's incredible. That one is gain. Oh, you get extra money when you sell gold. Okay, I think I want to do that because I'm about to sell some gold next turn-ish. Okay, so if I visit the clergy, I have to spend silk. And then I want to go here. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to take this tile, place it on my board. And to do that, I had to spend a silk, which I spend here. Then I can take a second action, and I will, and I'll spend the tools to place out 2 of my guys into those 2 things. So that's it. Those goods are spent. And that is the end of my turn. So I played a card to my board, which allowed me to take a favour tile, and then I took 2 noble actions by spending the goods to do that. Excellent. Now I get to take a card from here, and I'm going to take this card, and that's what I'm going to be playing next turn. So it's going to be a great turn. It's going to be a sick turn. I'm going to have so much cash. Give me the cash. I'm going to have so much influence too. That's awesome. Okay, so we can go on to Lacerda does not follow because I didn't play a noble to the noble court. So that's it. So now he's going to visit the builder. So he just moves across to here. And that's it. And now he's going to take the state action, which is one of these 2. He is going to take the top plan with the most officials depicted. So the top plan, if in case of a tie, he takes a blue. So all he's doing is he's taking this and he's placing it in his play area. And that's it. I think they just score him points at the end of the game. That's all. And now he's going to build a store. Okay, so we've gotten him some points for doing this. So we'll just go back to this screen so we can read it. Pay influence as normal. So he has to pay 2 influence to build a store, because there's 2 neutral workers there. He always chooses the free space in downtown that gives him the most immediate wicks. So this one will get him 5 wicks. This one will get him 5 wicks. And this one will get him 5 wicks. So he's going to choose one of these rows. In a case of a tie, he chooses the leftmost empty space of the top row. If 2 types of stores can fit in a chosen space, he always chooses the one facing left. So basically, because this is the spot, he's just going to take a pink, and he's going to place it like so. Is that right? No, here. Yep, there we go. So he's placed that there, and we'll score points for that, but let's place out this. Lacerda does not pay for the space, and he always takes the least expensive cube associated with that area. And in a preference, he chooses down the bottom. So he's going to take this blue. And then he'll take a building and he'll put it here. And then he scores the store as usual. So he's going to score that times that, which is 5 points. So he's going to go to 12. And that is his action done. And he discards the top green card from the deck. And then we can follow. And he moves to the next deck along. Great. I will follow because we just took that green tile. So I'll follow that action. I have to pay influence. It's going to cost me 1 influence to take this action. And I can take any one of these. So I'm going to take, I don't have enough cash to do it, but I'm going to take a tile, a building tile. So the one that I would like to take is this green one up the top here. And if we go over to my board, you can see that that's got 2 workers on it. So that will allow me to build a public building because I've got 2 workers in the things right now. Sick. And that's it. That is the end of that turn. So it's now my turn. All right, let's get around it. So this should be a good turn, I think. I am going to play this guy to my court thing. So I've got 3 spots up the top here that I can play this to. So I'm going to play it to here. Now, this has an action that allows me to build a boat. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. That had to go up there. Cool. Oh, I've actually got a free influence. And so did he. No, he still had to pay 1. Okay. Anyway, so building a boat. I'm going to build this boat. It's going to cost me 0 goods. Normally, you have to pay the number of goods equal to the hull that the ship has. This only has 1 capacity. Your ship goes into your board, and when you build a ship, you move this up again, and you score your influence. So I'm actually going to score 6 influence right now by placing this guy into my board, and that allows me to build a free ship. So I've just gained 6 influence to go up to 8. Get around it. Yes! And that's not even the end of my action. So now, because I've played a card into my board, I can sell goods or I can trade with the nobles. Now, if I sell goods, it's probably what I would like to do now. I'll sell this gold. Because of this tile, I sell the gold. Sorry, it goes onto the ship and it gets flipped over, and that does some stuff in a second. Normally, gold sells for $6 because it's the most lucrative resource. So I'm going to get $6, but then I'm also going to get $2 extra because of my little clergy tile. Very nice. When you fill a ship to capacity, this has a capacity 1, boop, all of the goods are flipped over and the person who owns the ship scores victory points equal to all of the goods. We score 1 victory point, 1. But that was an $8, 6 influence, 1 victory point action. I'm pretty happy with that, and Lacerda can't follow. So now what I would like to do is think about what I'm going to do next. So I want to build a public building. So this here is fine, but I think this might be better because I wouldn't mind 2 silk actually. No, let's focus on public buildings, I think. So it's this guy. So take that. So this is my 5 cards at the end of my turn. The next turn I'm going to play the purple guy to build a public building. And it's going to be the teal. Or maybe I'm going to go... get around it. All right, Lacerda does not get to follow that. So he's going to visit the marquee. That's going to cost him 2 influence. Boop, boop, because there's 2 of these. However, there's a -1 discount. Boop. Then he'll take the state action, which is he produces goods. Guess how many goods he produces? He produces 1 pink good. Place all goods produced in his play area and move the prices down. So he's got 1 shop which produces 1 pink good, and then the price of those goes down. So everyone can sell those pink goods for a lot cheaper now. Not ideal for the good guys. And then he's going to take a decree. So he takes the 2 decrees from the left of the display. He's going to take these 2 decrees. What is on them is absolutely irrelevant. He's just going to score points at the end of the game for each decree that he has at a cost of 3 to 1. That one is taken away because it has a little solo thing. Then he discards the top guy from this deck and he moves his little guy up. I do not have the opportunity to follow because I do not have that favour, so it's on to our turn. Alright, so I think now we want to go to open another public building. And I have a green guy. So that's not good. Do I want to take the blue guy instead? Yeah, I actually want to take the blue guy. Retcon, it's exactly the same. It doesn't have any bearing on it whatsoever. Okay, yes, so I will spend this king card to go here to the royal court. The influence cost on that is 1. So I have to spend 1 influence. The next thing that I do, and that's because this guy's here. Oh, it's actually free. Yes. The next thing I do is I get to do the main action, and I get to do one of these 2 actions. I don't think I want a clergy tile at the moment, which should have been replenished, by the way, but there you go. But what I want is a favour. I know that he's going to go here next turn, but I think that I want to take a free shop build action. So I'm going to take this onto my player board, and then I'm going to build a public building. So again, I'm going to flip these 2 guys back to my board. I'm going to flip this, which allows me to build the green building. And if we go here, this is the green building. The blue building. This is why I changed to the blue. This one can only be built in this teal row if we choose to build it in the teal row. And we are going to build it in the teal row. So that goes there. We get both of these cubes. 1, 2. And I score points, which is this. So that's 3 because it's in this spot here. Let me double check to make sure I've got everything right. I think I have. Take a decree, open a public building. Select and show the incomplete plans, return the state officials, flip the used plan tile. For an east or west public building, the owner of each store. For a north, the owner of each store facing its street earns wigs, is the large number in the scoring tile. Owner of each store earns wigs. Yep. So again, it is only 3 points. 1, 2, 3, but that's better than nothing. We've got 2 completed plans. I don't know if they're worth points, but that's fine. We only need 1 blue cube now as well to do that. Okay, so how do we get a blue cube? We build a store. And I can't, ooh, how much is that going to cost me? So maybe this is the one to do, no. $5? Oh yes, okay, I need to build that one. I need to build that. So that is a teal one. That's using the builder guy. So I think we just take a pink one so that I've got, oh, I've revealed a really excellent pink card that would have been better for us. C'est la vie. Lacerda cannot follow us because he does not have a pink tile. So this card's discarded. And it's now Lacerda's turn. So he visits the king. The first thing that he does is he will meet the cardinal. So this is going to go 1, 2. I don't recall what this does. We're going to need to learn this. But he's going to take this clergy tile and he's going to score 3 points from that clergy tile. 1, 2, 3. We'll replenish that. And then this is a different thing. This is called something scoring. I never even got to this. Church scoring. All right, let's find out about church scoring. Brand new. Good rule book. Not. Church scoring. So, each player, starting with the player remove the cardinal, gains influence. If you choose to gain influence, discard 1 or more of your clergy tiles. Earn the wigs. Gain influence. At the end of the player's turn, stand the cardinal up in his current space. Okay, so how does he score church scoring for solo? The answer is during church scoring, Lacerda does not discard any tiles, but he always earns influence equal to the influence at the top of your portfolio plus the influence on Lacerda's ships. He's going to score 6 influence. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, so I am going to discard this tile, and that gains me 3 wigs. 1, 2, 3, and then I gain influence 6, 1, 2, plus 4 more wigs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I can't go any higher than 10 influence. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So, great. That's a good turn for us so far. He's now going to open a public building. So he's going to go in a space that earns him the most points relative to us. So he's going to place here, because he can't go here. Here is also an option, but if he goes here, then he'll get 5 points, and he also gets these cubes, and it's also clockwise. So that is the option that he'll go for. This is supposed to be here, by the way. His preference is helper is above the king or treasury deck, which it is. He's going to place out this green one. So he's going to place that here. He's going to grab those cubes. And that's going to score him 5 points for that, going to 20. and that's the, oh no, that's not the right space. Okay, so because it's facing the pink street. So he'd need to build a pink one. That's fine, he can do that. That's the same. He builds this one here. Perfect. And so then he scores 5 points, which I already did. Excellent. He then discards this card from the thing. He moves his helper across. Pretty good. We have the option to follow, but we do not have a pink thing, so we will not follow. But we are going to be able to follow this green one when he does it, and we probably will. So it is expensive to open a shop right now. It is expensive. However, I think we're going to do it. So if I was to go Manuel Lacerda, I can place out 2 guys. He again doesn't have a green, so he can't follow. So let's go this guy. So I'll place him up here. And I will take this action, which is put 2 guys in the court. So we'll go here and here. So he has to spend stuff. And then I will build a building. So the order of this is important, and I think I'm going to be okay here, but let's find out. Because the order actually matters. I think I'm right. Build a building. Select a city tile. Yes, excellent. All right. So I will take this green tile, and I'm going to place it here on this street facing the teal spot. So that gets me $5 immediately, 5 reais. And that happens first. Then take a rubble cube from the same row and or column. So, I want to take a blue. Oh, can I afford this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 5 is 16. I can't afford it. I've only got 13. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Okay, is this not happening? Are we rolling this back? Because I can't take that action, but I really want to take that action to score me points, man. So if I take this cube, that's going to it's going to be $5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm 1 short. Okay, that's changed my plan quite a lot. So we're rolling that back. We're probably not doing this green guy. What do we want to do now? I think I need to sell things at my ship again. I think that guy is about to build that building right there, isn't he? He's going to steal that spot from me. Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. I'm probably just going to sell my gold again, I guess. So let's put in a new guy. This guy, Mr. Pink. And I'm going to place him in top of my board. So I've only got 3 capacity. So we're going to place him up the top. I'm going to get a cash money, wealth tile, coin tile. And then I'm going to sell goods, which will be this, in my ship. And that's only going to get me $6 now because my tile's gone. I probably could have got rid of that one, but anyway, it's done now. And then I have filled the ship, so I'm going to score 1 victory point for doing that. Oh, I'm pretty sure he's going to take that spot. So be it. He is not going to follow our action. So he visits the builder. It is going to cost him 0 influence to do that. He recruits 2 state officials. That's bad for us. He goes left to right. So he's making it more difficult for us to visit shops, visit those guys. He's going to build a store. He has to pay influence. He has to pay 1, but it's reduced to 0. He has to pick the place in downtown that will gain him the most wigs. Oh, he could go here. He will go there because it's the leftmost. So he's going to go here. And he's going to place that there. And he's going to score. Yeah, that is going to get him the most wigs. 6 points. Because he's got this tile and this tile. 6 points. He's on 26. Alright. Alright. And he takes a cube from the bottom, which is this blue one. And then he discards this, and he moves his helper to here. I was supposed to take one of those. I don't think I would have taken that one, so I will just take this king one, because I don't have that one. Cool. We are going to follow, because we have a green favour, so we will follow that action. We're now going to build a store. So, I think we calculated it before, but let's do it anyway. I'm going to go here on this tile. It's going to be this blue one, and it's going to go there. So I'm going to gain 5 reas. And now I'm going to take a cube. It's going to be this blue cube from the bottom, because that gets me a full set here. And that is going to trigger the next stage of the game, which we'll do at the end of my turn. Sorry, at the end of Lacerda's turn, because this is his turn. I get to place out one of my building tiles. I'll place it here. I now get to score points. This one plus this one times 2, that's 6 points. So I go to 26 as well. And I also have to calculate the land cost. So it's $5 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Whew, that was an expensive building. 16 bucks. Get out of here. That's all right though. I'm happy with that. Okay, and that is the end of me following his action. Okay, so at the end of that round, because I have 2 completed rubble cube sets, we actually trigger a next stage of the game. This is called the end of the period. As soon as anyone completes their second set of rubble, finish the current turn, discard all remaining cards in the display, and then each player receives 3 wigs for each set of rubble cubes on their board. So I'm getting 6 wigs, victory points, for that. So I'm going to 32. How many points does he get? Change of period. 1 wig for each rubble cube he has in his play area. He has 6. He will score 6 points. We're still tied, neck and neck. Then discard any ship cards that remain in the shipyard, starting with the player who triggered the end of the period. Each player earns the reward on the bottom of 1 of each type of noble card. Ignore penalties. Oh, that's going to be great for me. Okay, so I'm going to discard. Oh, that's a scummy one. This guy and this guy, to get 2 little dudes in the courts. 1 here and 1 here. And this guy, he's going to let me take a royal favour. I might keep that one for the moment, but I'll discard the rest of these. The royal favour I'll take will be a blue one, because I want to get some decrees. And now all of these cards are discarded, and we're going to replace them with brand new, more powerful ones. They're brown. So I think this is the halfway point of the game. How long are we playing for? About an hour. Okay, that seems fine. So I haven't shuffled these or prepared these. Blue, purple, green, green, blue, blue, treasury, treasury, blue, treasury, blue. Stop saying words, Deno. People don't need to know this, what you're doing. Done. We also discard the ship. So there's better ships now. There's this brown ship and this purple ship. This one gets you a lot less influence, but it lets you sell a lot more goods. And when you sell it, it costs you a lot less. I don't have to pay any goods when I build a ship. Oh, I'm building a ship, baby. Okay, so let me just double check again. So discard any ship cards remaining in the shipyard. Starting with the player, one type of noble discarded in this way. Each player draws back up to a 5-card hand from the purple deck. Return the remaining cards to the box. If needed, refill the church and the decree track, then play continues for the next player in order. And Lacerda just gets 1 week, that's it. So I'm going to draw 4 of these purples to get back up. This might not be necessary, but I'll keep it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we don't have a blue guy, so that's glad. I'm glad we're following old mate with that blue guy. Okay, is that move the church guy 1 space and take a cube? It is. That's nice when you play him. Okay, I want to build a ship though. So I want to go to the blue guy, and of course I don't have a blue guy to go there. Man, what a shitlord. Am I going to play this now, actually? Maybe I will. That is going to get me some free money, which I like. Okay, so I'll have to ditch one of those guys, but that's probably not too bad. Oh no, I've got 4 now. Ooh, sweet. Okay, so it's my turn in this next period. So I'm going to play this card onto my board using this primary action. So that gets me 5 reis from the treasury, and we're going to move the treasury down. I'm just pulling money out. And now I have this passive ongoing effect that any time I need to pay for a earthquake cube, it costs me 1 reis less. Would have been good to have that on my board a couple of turns ago, but c'est la vie. Now I can sell goods or trade with the nobles. At this point, I think I want to trade with the nobles. So I'm going to spend these books to let me build a ship. And I'm going to build this ship. Yep, I think that's fine. Yep. So I have to discard one of the cards from my tableau. It'll be this guy. Has to be him, and that'll go to the top. And anytime you build a ship, you move this marker back up, and then you score your influence. So for me, that is 5. And because of my, so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of my marker being here, that is going to cost, that is going to gain me 5 victory points to go to 37. Long way away. Can I? Would that be better, do you think? It nets me 1 less influence. Because I don't pay for, hi Steve by the way, I don't pay anything for ships because of my clergy tile that I've got. My clergy tile is number 36. You don't pay any goods to build or upgrade a ship, so it costs me nothing. So having 2 ships seems fine. Yeah? Sweet. Let's do it. That's okay. I have just really got no idea what I'm doing, so any feedback is very appreciated. That was my first noble action, was to go there to the thing. Now, my second one, do I take one of these or do I produce? So if I produce goods right now, I would produce 2 tools because I have 2 shoppos there in the tool land. But I'm also going to get a bonus one because of this building that I built. So yes, I think I will spend this to produce goods. So that is going to gain me 1, 2, 3 tools. Unfortunately, that reduces the money that we're going to get for tools. But yeah, that'll be okay. That'll be okay. Good turn, I reckon. Good turn. So I will take this guy, because that's going to let me get some decrees. And I would like some decrees. Lacerda can't follow that action, so we will go on to his action. He's going to visit the central guy. He's going to take the state action, which is going to produce goods. So he is going to produce one of those 2 goods. Let's find out. I think he actually produces both. It is a beautiful game. Places all goods produced and move the prices. Yep. So he's going to produce, oh, he's got 2 pinks. So pinks go down and he produces 2 pink goods. So that's cool. And then he is going to take decrees. He's going to, oh, you are such an idiot. He took the decrees that I wanted. One of the decrees that I wanted anyway. Oh, okay. That one might be good for us. Most tools is going to be worth 5 wigs at the end of the game. Most completed architect things, that's probably not going to be us. Most cash money, well, that one's not actually included because he doesn't play cash money. Okay, I don't know what that is, but we'll figure that out later. Now, to go back to Lacerda, he's going to discard a card from the green deck, which is where he is. He'll move his guy there. Ooh. And then we now have the option to follow, which we can because we have this blue tile. So we will follow that action to gain decrees. Technically, I don't think these refill till the end of the turn, but that's okay. So that one is available. So let's take that one, and I'll just double check. Yeah, because I don't, oh, do I want to produce actually? No, I don't want to produce and get those tool goods down even lower. This would cost me an influence. Actually, does cost me an influence. And it cost him an influence as well. Yes, I'm just reading that victory point. So that is number 49. And that says, if you have the most goods of this kind, earn 5 wigs. Excellent. So I'll take that one. Now, you can normally only take 1 decree, but because I've got these bad boys, I can cash those in to take a second. So that is 1 for each blue cubes. That's 2 points. This one might be the one. That is the most public buildings on the left. That's number 1. For each open public building at west, east, or north. Yep. So that would be, that's 3 points right now, just a straight 3 points. Yeah, that seems okay. I'll take that one. So those are great. So that is the end of Lacerda's action. It's now my turn. And I was going to take these decrees, but no, I think now we're going to sell some goods. We're going to sell them hot. Pop it like it's hard. Pop it like it's hard. So if I play this guy to the top, he's going to gain me a gold. Perfect. So this guy's getting discarded. So he gains me a gold. Then I have the option to trade with the nobles or sell goods. I'm going to sell goods. I've got 5 spaces in my ships. I've got 5 goods. Let's load it up. So that is going to get me 4 victory points, 5 victory points. 42. Then it's going to get me whatever the cash money is on each of those things. So those are each worth 3 and those are each worth 6. So that is 12 plus 9, 21 reyes. That is a lucrative sale action, and that is going to allow me to build some shops, which I would like to do. And then both of my ships are going to come back. Look at my boats. Didn't need to press that, but yes, let's draw one of these cards back into our thing. So we definitely want to build, visiting this guy. I've already got 2 greens, so let's actually take this one, just in case. All right, Lacerda, so he will not follow. So he's going to visit the king. That's going to cost him 1 influence because there's 2 bad guys there. He'll take the state action, which is he's going to gain a royal favour. He will take from the left, which is the green, so he's got that one. That's a shame. He's going to follow our action. And then he's going to build a public building. So there is a spot that he can build a public building that's going to score him a lot of points. Here will score him these 2. This will score me 3 points, but he's going to get 8 points. So he'll definitely build there. This should be here. His preference is, in case of a tie, yeah. If the helper is above the king or treasury deck, it is not. He places the green, so he's going to do the blue. So this one is going to go here. And he will then score for this, which is 3 points, and this, which is 5 points, so 8. So he'll go to 40, and I will score 3, which takes me to 45. This is called fullstackcardboard.com/Lisboa. There's actually a whole pile of apps that this guy has made, and he's a champion. And everyone should donate some actual real cash money, not just reais to him. He discards this guy. He moves this across. We have the option to follow, but we don't have a tile to follow. It's our turn. So, if I go to visit the treasury, do a treasury action, how does that work? I pay the treasury value. Yeah, that sucks. I don't want to do that. I think I'll use this green guy. Okay, well, we'll go him. So I'll play him to here. So Lacerda's going to follow us, unfortunately, but can't do much about it. I don't think. Okay. So if I go, if I build this little Bobby Dazzler, I can place it here, right? That's crazy. That's crazy points. Is there any penalties of building those little ones? What do they get you? I don't think there's any downside with building that. I've got lots of cash right now. Whew. This could be a lucrative one. So I'm spending an influence to visit this noble. It's going to cost me 1 influence because of that. Sweet. Build a store. Select an available city tile. Yep. Okay. I'm doing that. I'm doing it. So I'm going to build this little guy. And I'm going to build it here. So first of all, that is going to get me whatever that is, which is a favour tile, and I'm going to take the green. Am I taking the green? Yeah, I think I'm going to take a green. Okay, because he's about to do that green action as well, so I can follow that. Sick. Okay, then I have to pay for the cost of the land. So it's $5 because the treasury tile is at 5. And then I get to take a cube rather. So I will take, I'll take this cube. If I take a red cube, actually, then I can build that public building there. Yep, so I'll take a red cube. Then I have to pay the land cost. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 5 is 11. And it's only 3 for that one because of that. So there's my 11 reais. Tremendous. And then I score points for that building after I place this building there, which gets me some big production. Nice. Get around it. Yeah, so the points that scores me is here, 4 times those 3, which is 12 points. That is sick, 57. Oh, that's mad. Now, what does this mean, by the way? Am I supposed to get 3 extra reais when I sell from that ship? I need to find out what that does, my ship. This is exciting. This is actually a really good game. I am frothing this game very hard. Okay. Sell goods to the ships is choose a ship, move a good, receive money, plus any modifier depicted on the shipyard. Is that 3 for every good? No, surely not. Yeah, that's awesome. This can't be 3 for every good. I'm just going to take 3. That'd be ridiculous if that was 3 for every good. Ridiculous. It's no influence though. Okay, so that was my first action from going to the green space, which is that. I do also get to take one of these. I am going to take a architect tile, and it's going to be this green one because it only needs 2 guys, so we'll be able to build a public building, and there is not really a spot that's good for it at the moment. No, there is a spot, but yep. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, the value of the goods is here, but then this ship has a plus 3 coins on it. So I reckon it's probably just you get 3 coins. Okay, we're going to do Lacerda following. So he is going to follow with this green thing, and he will do the following. So pay influence as normal. So he has to pay 1 influence, but that's at a cost of 0. So he is fine and dandy. So it always chooses a free space in downtown. Oh yeah, he's going to build a store. Where gets him the most wigs? So let's have a look. So this will get him 6. This here, facing that way, will get him 5 plus 5. So he'll go here for 10 points. So he'll build this pink, like so. Places that there. He doesn't have to pay any land cost, but he's now going to score 5 and 5, which is 10. So he sucks. Ignores the bonus. He does not pay. He always takes the least expensive cube. So it's a red or a cream. So he'll take the red. Oh no, he'll take that one. And that's it. He scores the store as usual. So we're now on to Lacerda's turn. Guess what? He's doing another build. So he's going to place out 2 officials. He's going to go here and here. So that's punishing for him. And then he's going to build another building. Where's that one going to go? I think it goes here, because that comes back and he goes here. He's getting a monopoly on the pink. He always faces to the left, I think, is his option. So he builds that. He's again scoring 5 times 2, which is 10. He's leapfrogged me to 60, and he takes a blue cube. Then he discards this card, and he moves to here, and I have the action available to follow, and I do have that, so I will follow that action. So, I was supposed to take one of these. I'll take that guy. I think that's good. So yes, so I will follow the building of a store. So I think I want to start building facing gold or brown maybe while I still can. So this is a terrible space to build at because you get no points, but this one here facing brown would at least get me 3 points. Alternatively, I don't follow right now and I place out a public building into that Rua Belladorinha, and then I will get an opportunity to do that before he builds again. So maybe that is a better option. Maybe I don't follow this turn. I'll keep me follow up my sleeve. Okay, it's our turn. So yeah, let's go to the marquee. Oh, I was supposed to get rid of him. So yes, he can't follow this because he doesn't have this colour. So I can take clergy tiles. I have to pay influence. It's going to cost me 1, 2 influence minus 1. And then clergy tiles, we're not moving around the clergy track super quick. But if I move here, I get both influence. Yeah, I'm going to take the clergy action to move 1 space, take this, and get this and this. That is sick. That is absolutely sick. I'm chuffed with that decision. That gets replenished. Get around, and then I can cash that in for church scoring to get how many points? 3 points. That's great. I love that. Okay, and now the second action I take is open a public building. So I have 2 guys here, which will come back, and I have this green building. So if I go here with this green building, I can go here to the Rua Belladaramba, or I could go here, and that would clear out my next thing. Oh, that's a tough call, because I think I want this one, don't I? I'll take this. Clearing out rubble seems like the right approach. So that goes there. Oh, that also gets me a point because it's leftmost building. That's fine. So this goes here and this goes here. And I place that on the board. And then I flip this. And then that goes here. So I did this action and I did this action from visiting him. He can't follow. I paid my influence. That goes here. And now I'll just take a purple card just so I've got one of each colour. So I've got flexibility. 3 more rubble cubes and that will trigger the end of the game. But Lacerda's going to go. He can't follow. Okay, he visits the marquee. I can follow this, and you better believe I will, so I can spend some of these to get more things. Okay, so he is going to build a ship. Oh, no. Okay, he builds this ship. He builds that one. So when he builds a ship, this would go up, but nothing happens. Earns influence equal to the influence on the ship, plus the influence in your portfolio. All right, he gets 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Idiot. Then he takes the noble action. So he is going to take a decree. He just takes the 2 leftmost decrees. And that's it. And so now I'm going to follow this action. Oh, do I produce goods? No, I don't produce goods just yet. If that one there, 66, have the most influence, is it? Oh, I don't know. This is sick. 66 have the most influence, surely that's what that is. If you have the most influence, earn 5 weeks. Well, he's got 1, so surely you just win that. Oh no, it's here, it's on this track. Okay. Okay. So that's 67. For each 2 influence depicted at the top of your portfolio, earn a wig. Okay, that's 50. That is if you have at least 1 good of each kind. Okay. That one there is for each of your completed things. That one's worth 4 points. 3 points, apparently. Mm. 58. If you have completed the most plans or are tied for most, earn 5 weeks. Okay, I'm going to take that one because that's 5 points. And that, oh, is that in row D? This is row D, isn't it? 31. If you own the most stores in row A, B, C, or D. Okay, so that's there. Alright, so I just need to get 1 more store there. Sure, let's take that one. That one seems fine. So these will go here. And that slides across. So that was me following his action on the blue tile. So that's done. He moves his helper to here. He discards this one. I followed. Excellent. So it's my turn. So I think I want to build that building now on the brown space. But is there a different way for me to do that I can... I haven't got the queen variant. No, where do you get that actually? I might have it. I bought this from another guy. Maybe I have the queen variant. Starting decrees variant. I'll have to look into that. I might not have it. But I might be able to add it to my recent Great Library order. Okay. So if I build a store, he can't follow. Do I want to trade with the nobles right now? Would that be a better action for me? No, because I don't have goods. I need to produce goods, is what I need to do. Okay, yeah, I don't have it. I'll have to look into it now that I've played it. Now that I've finally wrapped my head around this game, I'm jazzed for it. I've got enough cash to build probably 2 stores right now. And I can follow... I should have probably followed the production. That's fine. I didn't. We learned from it. So I am going to be able to follow purple, which would be to do another public building, but I'm not going to be able to afford that. So that'll just get me to clergy track. Okay, I might just keep that one for points actually. All right, I think I want to play the blue guy, which is unfortunately going to let him follow to take 2 more decrees. That's basically 6 points for him if he follows. Okay, well I need to get good. Maybe there's a better way. No, okay, I think I've got it. I'm going to go here. Green guy. Perfect. So pay the influence cost. That's 3 minus 1, 1, 2. I'm going to take a plan. Am I? I might just take 2 guys. 1, 2. Can't go there, has to go there. And then, so that's that, and then I'll build a building. So the building that I want to build now is this brown building. And I want to build it here to get a plans. Yep. So I'll build this brown, and I'm going to build it in this spot here. So that's going to get me 5 points. And I'm going to take this building, place it here. So let's just calculate the cost. I'm going to take this blue cube. Sounds crazy, I know, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 5 is 12 reais. So that blue goes there. So 12, that was 15, so I get 3 back. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I now calculate how many points that gets me. And it's going to get me 5 times that building. Oops. So that's just 5 points to go to 57.62. We're again all tied up. And that's it. Now when I do a produce, I'm at least going to produce some of those browns. But I want to build another one now. Down there. Yep. Oh, yes. Come on, Deno. Fire up, son. Fire up. You can do it. Okay, so Lacerda can't follow because he doesn't have that colour. I choose one of those. I will take this green one again. Just so I've got that option. He's going to visit the king. So I can follow this. We probably won't, but... yeah, so he is going to take the royal favour he doesn't have. He's going to take this green one. And then... he's going to open a public building. So he is going to take the public building that's going to score him the most points. So unfortunately for him, he's not got that many right now. This one scores him 5 points. This one scores him 5 and scores me 3. So he's not going to do that one. This one scores him nothing. This one scores him nothing. This one scores him nothing. So he will build this one right here. And he will preference, his guy is in that space. So he does the blue tile here. And it gains him 5 points to go to 67. And that's it. He then discards this green card. Oh man, this has been a really cool game. I'm so glad I finally got around to this because it's just been, yeah. Okay, I could follow here to open a public building, but I don't have that. I could follow to take one of these, not much value, or I could follow for a clergy tile, move 1, 2. That doesn't actually help us much, really. So, yeah. So yeah, I won't do that. I mean, it would be good to move this guy around and get to here because I will score points and get influence, but so will he. So that's just 2 points at the end of the game. I'll keep that. So I will not follow. So it's back to us. Now he is going to follow the green action if we go to the green action. Is that what we want to do? I can also follow the green action. How much reais do I have right now? I'm allowed to have 5 cards in my portfolio. I only have 4 cards. This one would let me trade with the nobles or sell goods, but I don't have either of those. So if I was to instead play this, I could now produce goods, but hang on, let's count up if I can build a shop. Because I want to build this shop here, facing the gold, so I can get that thing. So if I build there, I might be better off going the brown actually. Brown again. to guarantee that I get the brown majority at the end of the game. Because I'm definitely not winning pink majority, but I could potentially still win the brown majority. And this one is worth 6 points. 6 points is all right. Yes. Okay, so what is the cost of this tile? It's currently 5. I'll take that away. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I have 9. Okay. So I need to take some cash money. Okay. I think... Oh, this is a risk. I think I'm going to play this guy onto my tableau. And he's going to gain me 2 gold resources. Which I can then sell. If I wanted to. That's going to get me money, but I could also trade with the nobles, because that gold would let me do any of these actions. I could produce, but I was sort of wanting to produce later when I had more goods. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, let's yeah, it could be produce and then take another architect thing. Yeah, that could let me build another blueprint. That could be good. Yep, okay. Let's do this. Let's go here, produce goods, and take a thing. So I'll take that green one, and then I'm going to produce goods. So this is going to go down in value, as is the brown. Now, when I produce, because I have unlocked this, I get plus a lot. Let me double check the exact amount that I get there. Oof. There is so many decisions that I've come to like look back and go, oh, maybe I should have done something differently there, which is always the mark of a really good game. Build a store. So when you produce goods, produce one of goods of a single type. When you produce goods of each type that you produced. Yes, nice. Okay, so I'm going to produce 1, 2, 3, 4 tools, and I'm going to produce 2 brown. So 2 books and 4 tools. So the 4 tools is good. That's going to let me have this points almost certainly. This one I've locked in. I need to build 1 more in space D, and I need to do 1 more public building, I think, and that gets me over the line. So that was my turn. I will then take this pink guy back. He could not follow that action, so it's now his turn. So he's going to visit the builder. Okay. He's going to build a building. But let's have a look at what he does. He acquires a plan. Yep. He'll take the top, the blue architect's plan. So that goes into his supply. So yeah, so I need to build another public building, guaranteed. His noble action, he's going to build a store. So where is he going to get the most points from? So if he goes here, he's going to score 6. If he goes here, he's going to score 4. If he goes here, facing this, he's going to score 8. So I think he goes here, in this spot. So that's a gold building. Builds that. He scores 8 to go to 75. Yep. So I don't really need gold majority, but I would have liked that to produce the goods, actually. Give me the cash. Now I can follow this action. Oh, and he does also remove a cube from the bottommost track. So that's done. He then discards this card and he moves his marker across there. I can follow. Now, do I follow here? Oh, he had to pay influence. He had to pay 1, which is none. If I follow, I'd have to pay 2 influence. I can build a store. Can I afford to build the store? If I go here now, which is where I wanted, I could take this red cube and we could face the gold space. I could actually go here, couldn't I? That nets me more points and it gets me this, which I think I want. Because I could produce again and get a huge amount of resources and then go for a big sell. Because I can sell to his boat as well. That will score in points, but I can still get money for that. And money is worth points at the end of the game. Interesting. Why would I take this pink? I think I was thinking about having this decree. And I'm unlikely to go for that decree. Or am I? I could actually get that decree. Okay, I'll follow this action. And I'll build a store. So the land price is going to be 5. I need to get this down to basically $9. So I think I can if I go here, that space, this space here. And this also helps me because I've got the victory points for most things in row D. So I'm going to build, I can't build a gold, I have to build the pink. Okay, so I'll build this pink here. Okay, so that goes there. This is going to score me 3 times 2, which is 6 points. So I go to 68. I get to take this cube. I get to place this building. And this is going to cost me land $5, $6, $7, $8. We're in good shape. So I've got $1 left. We're in good shape. And then, yep, I've scored the points. I've got these buildings built. This is awesome. That is great. I did need a pink one anyway. At least gets me in the point scoring there. Not for majority, but that's fine. So that goes there and that goes there. Okay, so that was me following the Royal Builder. It's now my turn. So if I take this and place this in here, I can take 2 decrees and I could take this one. Yep. But that's 1 point for everything. So maybe we don't want that, or do we? Because I need to have one of each goods. The other option is I could go back to the builder. No, I need to get goods. I need to get cash, rather. Cash, cash, cash. So yeah, I think I have the ability to go for a big wad of goods selling in the last turn. So let's do, or goods producing in the last turn. Let's do this. I'm going to place him in there. I'm going to take 2 decrees. So I'll take this decree and I'll take, I don't know, which one's worth the most points. Yeah, each blue building on the right's worth 2, sure. And then I can either trade with the nobles or sell goods. Oh, trade with the nobles. Produce. and place out guys? No. No, producing does get me 2 pinks now. Gets me a lot of goods. No, I'll sell. I'll sell goods right now. So I'm going to sell these 2 browns. So these are worth 4 each. So that's 1, 2. So that's worth 12. 8 plus 3 is 11. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17 Reyes. And more importantly, it's 5 victory points to go to 73. Lacerda can't follow that because it's not one of those actions. I would like to take which card I really want to build. So I'll just take this green. Oh my god, that's producing goods. That's outstanding. Okay, Mr. Lacerda. He goes to the blue. That's taking decrees. What is he going to do? He's going to build a ship. There's no ships to build, so he does nothing there. He moves the treasury up 1 space and then he earns influence. No, he just doesn't do the action. So that's it. So then he's going to take a decree. He's just going to take these 2. They're both worth 3 points for him. I have no idea if we're going to win here or if we're going to get smashed. I feel like I've played okay, but yeah. He'll discard this card. Then he'll move to here. I can't follow because I don't have a blue symbol. So now I need to build. He will follow a build, but I think that's okay. I want that. All right, so I'm going to... oh, this guy should have been disappeared. Yeah, it is my turn, yep. So I am going to build a building using this guy. And that's going to cost me 2 influence, 1, 2. Lacerda is going to follow this, but I think that's okay. I'm going to build here in this space. So it's going to cost me, it's going to gain me $4. No, it's not going to gain me $4. I'm going to build this. I'm going to face it this way. It's going to gain me a pink tile, is what it's going to gain me. 1 pink tile. I need that. Then I place this here. The cube that I get to remove, I think I remove this one because that's going to trigger the end of the game. And we play 1 more round. So I'll do that. These are both gone, by the way. And this goes here. So yeah, the cost to build that is 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've still got 10 Reyes left. And then I score points. That's 4 times nothing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 1. And then he's going to build a building. Okay, so he can't build on the gold space. So he will build a pink one, won't he? Yeah, he's going to rack up so many points for this. This is going to go here. And this is going to get him 3, 6, 9 points. There's nowhere else that he scores better than that. That's 9 as well. Oh, that's 12 if he goes there. So he will actually build there. That's 12. Yep. So he builds there. 12 points. 87. And he removes a cube. He will take the lowest value cube, which will be one of those. Okay, that was Lacerda following. So now he visits this guy. We do have the option to follow here, and we might actually... Oh, we might do this. Oh, this might be delightful. Okay, so his first action is he's going to go meet the cardinal. He's going to go 1, 2. That's going to move this up. Move the treasury up. It's already at maximum. He takes this. He scores 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And we do replenish that tile. So yeah, it's going to tick over 2 hours, but there's been a lot of me stumbling. And then he'll take the noble action, which is to build a public building. He places this one. He will place it. Yeah, see, this is not good for him. There's nowhere that he places it that doesn't net me more points. Okay, so let's go. So he can't build there. There's no tile that matches. If he builds here on the brown, he's going to get me 5 points. So he doesn't want to do that. So if he builds here, he gets me 5 points. If he builds here, he gets me 3, 6, 10 minus 5, 5 points. So he could build this brown one. Yep, so I think what happens is he just builds the most leftmost one there, and that actually scores me 5 points. Good on you, Lacerda. You're a top bloke. You're a top champion bloke, and I love it. Well played. Great. I'm going to follow that action using my purple thing. That is going to allow me... Oh yeah, he discards this card. Then the helper moves around to here. Oh, what was he on? 90. Yeah, so I'm going to follow and play this to build a public building. I'm going to flip my green tile. This one comes to here. And I can build that here, which will score me points, 5 points. Or I could build it here, which will score both of us 4 points. Neither of those benefit me in any way, so I'll go here and get 3, 10, and he gets 5. So I get 5 to go to 87, he gets 5 to go to 95. Okay. So we play one more round. So this is the final turn of the game because I have completed all of those. So in my final turn of the game, and I had to return these guys on my player board. In my final turn of the game, and I had to take one of these, it doesn't matter. I am just going to go this guy. In my final turn of the game, I'm going to play this guy to my player board, and I'm going to visit the nobles. This is going to be a very good turn. So, because I played him, I get to produce goods. So, I'm producing every good now. So I'm producing 1, 2, 3, 4 of those teals. I can store up to 6 teals, so that's fine. Oh, this is great. Yep, so that's 4 because I've got 1, 2, 3 buildings facing that, and then I get +1 for all of my productions. Then I'm producing 1 brown good, but that goes up to 2. And then I'm producing 2 pink goods, if you don't mind. And last of all, I am producing 2 gold as well. Now, everything goes down in value. I didn't grab enough pink little things out, did I? What an idiot. Okay, I need to produce 1 more pink. There he is. 1 more pink, and okay. So that's all of my goods that I've produced, and this goes down, this goes down, this goes down. So now I have the option to trade with the nobles or sell goods. So I'm going to sell goods. and I'm going to make sure that I do this in the most efficient way. So I'm going to sell that for 5 Reyes. I'm going to sell this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. That also nets me 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those goods are returned. I have achieved my thing there. Oh, actually, I can sell these as well to old mate. But that will get him 3 points. And it would get me 5 Reyes. So that is not a good option. Also, I need to have the most of those in my warehouse, and just on the off chance that he does something otherwise. Lacerda can't follow that action. So his final turn of the game, he's going to visit the builder. He's going to... Oh, he's acquiring a plan. He's muffed me. What a chump. And then he's going to build a building. So let's look over here. I can't follow this, so this is just going to be what scores in the most points. These are both 3. This is a 4. So going here, we'll get him 12 points. That is back. So yeah, that's 12. That one is also 12. So he'll go here. He'll take this. He'll place out his thing. And he'll score 12 points to go to 107. I don't know if we're going to catch him at that point. And that's it. The game has ended. All right, so let's do his scoring first. Lacerda. Determine your scores as if there were a 2-player game. Lacerda scores the value of the ships that he owns. So what are your ships worth at the end of the game? Equal to the sum of the hull sizes in all ships in your portfolio. Okay, so he's going to score 3 points for that. 1, 2, 3. Good work, Lacerda. 1 wig for each rubble cube in his play area. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So he is on 121. Okay, then he's going to score buildings. Majorities. So he has picked up a majority on pinks, definitely, for 9 points. So he goes to 30. And then he does not have a majority on gold. He does not have a majority. Oh, he's actually tied on gold with me. And I've got him beaten on blue. So the blue, he'll score 2 points, 1, 2. And the gold will both score 2. So there you go. I'll just do I'll do mine after. And he's got no brown buildings. So he doesn't score browns at all. 3 wigs for each decree that he has. He has 2, that's those. These are decrees. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 24. So he's going to go to 58. 158. Jeez, it's going to be hard to run him down. 2-player game majorities on hired officials. I don't know what they are. Hired officials. Oh. Okay. Okay. So in a 2-player game, the person who's put the most guys in buildings. So I've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he's put a lot more. So he's scoring 15 points there. So he's going to get 63, 73. And 2 wigs for each royal favour he has. So 4 points. So he finishes on 177. Let's see how we go. It'll be tough. So I am going to score 5 points for ships. 97. I am going to score 12 points for rubble. 109. I have more blues, which means I score 6 points. 115. I have tied gold for 2, 1, 2, and I have 3 pink, 1, 2, 3 points, and brown I have the most brown, which is 9 points. That's a nice little pick up there. Okay. Oh, cash out your influence for Reyes. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 Reyes. He wasn't supposed to do that, was he? No, he wasn't. Cool, okay. So now, 1 week for each Reyes. Okay, so I'm getting points for these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for my money. That's nice. Decree cards. Okay, I think I did all right on these. So this is for each blue building on the right, get 2 points. So that's 2. I have that, so that's 5, that's 7. I say that's 4, and 5 is 9. 14, plus 4 is 18. Plus that is 23, but I did not have the most of those. So I got 23 from my decree. So that takes me to 58. Oh, we're going to be close. We're going to be close. I get 5 wigs for having second most officials. So that's 63. And then I do not get any favour, royal favour. So I finished on 163 plays 177. Whoa, that was awesome. Okay, so how would I improve? I'm putting that in the app, by the way. That's going straight in the app. Lisboa. How would I improve? I think I'm pretty happy with that for a first score. I need to add this game because I've never played it. For a first full score, I think the decree cards are really important. I think you need to score. You need to have probably 10 of those by the end of the game that you're going to score points from. To really get a good score would be my gut feeling. He's just a consistent, meticulous guy that's just going to do the same thing every time. So 177. So you can sort of plan around that. 163. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was struggling so much with all of the things. Like I was just struggling to figure out how do I do this and what do I do this. But it's actually a really simple game when you boil it right down to its core action. It's just do the thing, and that's it. Like pick a card, do the thing, that's it. But as in a lot of his games, it's about how those decisions trickle down. And I think there was a few early decisions where maybe I would have been better served doing stuff. Like I didn't, very early on, I think having one of these cards, the discount that you get from these, this is a 3 Reyes discount on anything. This is a 2 guide discount when you build buildings. There's just lots and lots of things that if you get into play early, you have a really huge benefit from. I maybe should have even built the 3rd ship, so I had 3 ships up there. That would have been sick. Goods don't score you anything at the end of the game, do they? They all do indeed feel very good. Let me think. I think Speakeasy is the most accessible. I think it is the one that I would introduce people into Lacerdas with, and if they enjoy that, then you maybe push into some of the other ones. So far, the second one is probably Inventions for me. Now it's definitely more complex, but it's just got a really engaging loop and what you're going for. This one is probably number 2 if it's not Inventions from what I've just played. This is a really elegant system that comes together in a really cool way. On Mars follows those. Now, I have yet to play On Mars solo. My ratings change based on multiplayer, which I'll come back to. And then the last one would be Weather Machine. I was really excited for Weather Machine. I'm going to have to try it again. It was just okay. I don't know how you ever beat the bot. Maybe that's just me. Multiplayer, I've only played Inventions and Speakeasy and On Mars multiplayer. But yeah, probably On Mars is the best game of all of them because of how much you are. I think Lacerda does this crazy thing where you actually are reliant on other players at the table doing things, and that then influences what you do. There's a lot of interactivity with his designs, and I think On Mars really encapsulates that because other people's technologies are available to you. Other people do things that raises the level of the hab, whatever it's called, the settlement on Mars. Other people are genuinely influencing how your game plays. That's less evident in Speakeasy. You know, the maximum that you really get is them taking ships from rum runners that you're gonna go for. This one, there's probably a little bit more interactivity around when someone takes, one of the public buildings, when someone builds on a spot that you wanted to build, the majorities that you're looking to get. And then the key thing, of course, is the following of other actions. So that's just a really cool interactive experience I think you would have with this game, having never played it. But On Mars is just slightly ahead. And I also just love the science behind On Mars. You know, he does a really good job thematically of making games make sense if you're at all interested. Like, this all makes sense, mostly. But On Mars takes it to another level because it's just all of these things connect about, you need to have air to produce, oxygen's produced by the plants, so you need to build plants, but you need water to grow the plants, so you then need to produce water by having minerals, and then, there's just all these things that interconnect. It's an incredible game. I've really got to learn how to play it solo, actually, now, and I maybe should buy the Alien Invasion pack and do some of that, because there's a cool solo mode in there. So, anyway, so solo, it probably goes Speakeasy, Inventions, Evolution of Ideas, Lisboa, question mark, On Mars, Weather Machine. We'll wait and see. Multiplayer, it's probably On Mars, followed by Speakeasy, followed by this, followed by Inventions. Maybe actually Weather Machine would be ahead of it because Inventions was a heavy ask. I would need to play this multiplayer. It may go up, but I just think Speakeasy is the most accessible one. You can teach people to play that in about 20 minutes. There's a few nuances, but it's about a 20-minute teach, and it all makes sense when you're playing. So, I have played Kanban. I've never played that on the channel. I didn't love it, but I would probably enjoy it more now that I've played other Lacerdas. But it's not on my register at the moment. I know a lot of people think very highly of it. Not for me at this point in time, but I would like to play it again. I think I played it 5 years ago, before I was even into board games that much. You're just making cars and shit. I didn't really like it. And then, what other ones has he got? Oh yeah, I haven't played The Gallerist. I saw a copy the other day, but I wasn't quick enough to snap it up on my board games group that I buy games from. And then there's one called Escape Plan, which I don't know anything about. And I think that's all of them. And I, of course, have the Great Library coming. So that was really cool. Really, really cool. So that'll do us for tonight. I'm going to be back on Thursday. Tomorrow night we're playing multiplayer Nucleum, which will be great. And then, yeah, I'm not sure what we'll play Thursday. I might do a poll, see what people feel like watching. Yeah, I might do a poll. So appreciate everyone watching along tonight. Have a fantastic week. I'll catch you all again soon.